Woo! Hello, Laker fans. My name is Kobe Sato, and this is a Laker Holics live post game show. Thanks to the people currently streaming through YouTube and Facebook. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for the support. What a night for the Lakers. The Lakers won tonight to the Detroit Pistons at Little Caesars Arena for the last of their 6-game road trip, going 3-3 with a final score of 124 to 117, snapping their 3-game losing streak that they've been on. They're currently 6-6 at home, 5-9 on the road with an overall record of 11-15, which is currently tied for 13th in the Western Conference with the Oklahoma City Thunder. This Pistons team came in with a record of 7-21, which was last in the Eastern Conference. Not a great game from the Lakers to finish off the third and fourth quarter in the second half. Ultimately, a win is a win, and it's good to get out of this road trip with a win and with the players healthy. Going right into the scorecard, as you guys can see, LeBron had a big night tonight, coming back from a night where he had 25, I believe, last game. Didn't have a great game, but tonight he had 35 points with 37 minutes, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Efficient night from him tonight. He shot 14 for 24 from the field, 2 for 6 from the three-point line. He was plus 18 from the field. Got to the free throw line 5 times tonight, made all 5. Anthony Davis, he looked like he was on cruise control tonight. Had a quiet 34 points, which is cool to see from Anthony Davis, that he's a player that you can see consistently to have 30 points a game, even on cruise control. He had 36 minutes tonight, 34 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 12 from 18 from the free throw or from the field, 0 for 1 from the three-point line, 10 for 12 from the free throw line. AD missed a couple of clutch free throws coming down the stretch, 2 in a row. Don't usually see that from him, but ultimately good game from him as well. He had a block, 2 steals. He was plus 7 from the field. Lonnie Walker, he also had a pretty good game. He had the Lakers' first 8 points. He came off on fire to start the game. He played 30 minutes tonight. He had 18 points, 2 rebounds. Efficient night for him as well. Went 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 6 behind the three-point line. He was plus 2 from the field. And I still don't get why he's not closing games over Patrick Beverley, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But ultimately, good game from them. Austin Reeves with the three-pointer at the end to seal the deal for the Lakers, which they let Detroit come back as low as 2 points. So scary ending for the Lakers, and luckily they were able to pull that one out against, again, the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Russell Westbrook with another good game tonight. Almost had a double-double. He had 11 points with 21 minutes, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Shot 9 from 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He had 4 turnovers tonight. He actually had a pretty good game in terms of his court vision with his 9 assists. I feel like he's been pretty effective in terms of just seeing the court and dishing the ball out. But now we currently have Anthony Davis talking with the media following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons.
We knew that. I lost a game for us in Philly. And then, me and Bron missed a game, and then I didn't play Cleveland. So, we consider this a successful trip. 500. The last game was always the toughest, because you going back home, been on the road for 11 days. Can't wait to get back to your families and, back in your own bed, things like that. So, but this team's it's a good team. They got a lot of scoring. Donovich got high from 3. All their guys that shot the ball really well in the third quarter. So, but we just stayed resilient, kept fighting. Been a must-win for us.
You were able to have a big scoring game, even with fewer field goal attempts. LeBron was also able to go over 30. Do you think that could be a good model where you're able to be that efficient and still be aggressive, but other teammates are able to go too?
Yeah, in the first half, guys were feeling it. Austin, Pat hit some shots. Lonnie, Bron. So, we don't try to force feed anyone. Just let the game come to us. And, the third quarter, it was my time, kind of build the lead. And then, Bron down and, stretch in the fourth. Myself, Dennis, Austin with a big three. So we just sharing the basketball.
You took the ownership for the way the game ended in Philly, but Austin was certainly part of it. He missed free throw just like you did. Do you feel extra happy or extra good for him to see him make the clutch three today in the first chance to make up for the Philly game?
Yeah, it was a big shot. One thing about Austin, he loves taking the big shots. He hit big shots for us all season, and even last season as well. He's playing really well, doing the right things, and he's continuously getting better.
AD, kind of a mixed bag of close games for you on this trip. Obviously, the win in Milwaukee, the comeback in Philly, but then not able to score, and then maybe letting this one get a little close at the end. What do you take away from how you guys are performing in some of these close games, and where do you kind of see maybe sort of obvious things that can be?
We're executing better in our close games, which we're able to get some wins, like Milwaukee. Philly, we were kind of down, just fought back. I think we executed really well. Played with a lot of resiliency, toughness down the stretch in Philly. And when you use everything you got to fight back, then going to overtime, you gotta be perfect again. You kind of just use all your gas. So I think that's kind of what happened. A lot of shots for short. And then tonight, like I say, when you're on the road, home team always want to make a run. We had some, even in the first half, they were making some tough shots. Third quarter, our guys are right there on bogey. Dennis, Pat, Austin, and he's shooting threes. Our guys are right there because you're not trying to foul him, So, and he made them. So hats off to him. They're there. He gets paid the big bucks to make big shots, and he did that for him tonight. But as far as us, we just keep fighting, keep battling, and keep executing down the stretch.
Last two.
Eddie, how do you feel about coming off this road trip and then you go home and play the Celtics, the team that's best in the NBA?
Yeah, that's why it was a must-win for us to get this win, feeling good about ourselves going into, a big game back at home. So, we feel like we can beat anyone. We're playing really good defensively. Our offense is clicking. So we expect that to be a good game for us.
Last question.
I got one more.
Okay.
Just your thoughts on Brittany Griner returning home.
Amazing. Been in Russia for as long as she was, inhumane living conditions. I think they showed the bed she was living in. And, when I first seen her, I didn't even know it was her because she cut her dreads. I don't know if it was voluntarily or what, but it's always good to have one of your own, back. Even though we get a chance to play this game and we live in this little box where we don't have a real insight. I don't want to say insight, but we don't have this reality because we live in this box of basketball where everything is going well. You kind of forget about everything outside, and that kind of just put us back into reality, knowing that we're blessed to do what we do every single day because it's people in this world, and our sister. Who's going through bigger things than basketball. So it's always good to get her home, and we're glad she's here.
Thanks.
Yep.
That was Anthony Davis following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons, 124 to 117, close game down the stretch. Looking at Anthony Davis for tonight, again, 34 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. He was +7 in terms of the plus-minus category. He's currently averaging 27.5 points for the season, 12.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, shooting 59.3%. So it's nice to see Anthony Davis back to being an elite player, top 5 in the league, back in the MVP conversation. Michael, quite 15 rebounds, a little quiet 15 rebounds. Yeah, for a team that's for the Lakers, they're currently 5th in the league in rebounding, and for Detroit, who's tied for 23rd in the league at 42.5. I mean, of course, Anthony Davis is going to have more rebounds this game, but it was a very quiet game from him tonight. So, would have loved to see more from him tonight. Honestly, it was a quiet night from him, and he was on cruise control. So, no surprise there from Anthony Davis, of course. But yeah, going back to his stats, I liked what I saw from him tonight, talking about the trust again within Austin Reeves. And here's the play that LeBron, or that he was talking about in the corner, passed it out to AR in the corner, and that ended up sealing the deal for the Lakers, brought it within 5. So great game from Austin Reeves. He had 9 points, all 3-pointers tonight. Looking at the stat sheet, I believe he had 9 points. Austin Reeves, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He went 3 for 5 from the 3-point line tonight. He was +3 behind the in terms of plus and minus. So love to see that from him tonight. Bogdanović, he went off tonight. It feels like every game the Lakers let some player on the opponent team go off behind the perimeter. Bogdanović tonight had 38 points off 35 minutes. 4 rebounds with 2 assists. He shot 12 for 22 from the field, 6 for 12 from the 3-point line, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. He had a block, a steal. He was +8 from the field. So kind of tough when Darvin Ham is playing a 4-man guard rotation, where he's playing Pat Bev, Lonnie Walker, Schroeder, Reeves, and then AD at the 5. There was long stretches in the game where Pat Bev was guarding, or not Pat Bev, sorry, Dennis Schroeder was guarding Bogdanović, and Dennis Schroeder's 6'1", and Bogdanović, I believe, is like 6'8", if I'm not mistaken correctly. But that's a recipe for disaster by Darvin Ham. He needs to do a better job of with rotations. There's been a couple of games now, rotations-wise, where he almost ended up losing the game for the Lakers. So that's something that I definitely would like to see some more improvement on as the season goes by, of Darvin Ham making some type of adjustments, playing some more wings. Troy Brown Jr. tonight, he played 15 minutes, so it's good to see his minutes start to uptick again. He had a great game against Milwaukee, and then I don't know what he did to go into the doghouse, but he hasn't really been playing as much minutes as I think that he should, kind of being the only wing on this team. So going to be interesting to see what the Lakers end up doing in terms of rotations and in terms of trades, because they definitely need some type of they need more size on this roster for sure. So we'll have to see what happens within that. Also looking at back at the scorecard, we could see that Ivy also had a pretty good game himself. He had played 25 minutes tonight. He had 16 points. He had a rebound, 2 assists. He shot 6 for 16 from the field, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. The Detroit Pistons, coming into this game, they've shot the most free throw attempts, so they're pretty good at getting to the free throw line. Lakers came into this game second. Now, after this game, they're currently first. So it's good to see the Lakers being aggressive and getting to the free throw line a lot. Looking at the Lakers' 3-point percentage today, they did pretty well. Shot 42%, 11 for 26 from the 3-point line, compared to Detroit's 38%. So, I mean, like I said, this Pistons team is one of the worst in the league. So, not too much to brag about, but it's good to see the Lakers shooting well behind the 3-point line tonight. Also shooting 55% from the field. So love seeing that for the Lakers, of course. The Lakers averaged 56.8 points in the paint, which is currently number 1 in the NBA. Tonight, they had 52 points, so a little bit below their average, but ultimately good game in terms of scoring in the paint for them. Detroit had 40, so definitely outdid them there. Second chance points tonight. Detroit beat the Lakers 10-6. Fast break points, it was pretty even. And with the Lakers turnovers tonight, they had 11. Detroit had 12. I believe at the end of the first half, Detroit had 10. So to only have 2 in the second half is pretty good for Detroit. The Lakers only had 4 coming out of the half, I believe. So in the second half, they got pretty sloppy. So that's how Detroit was able to come back into the game. And ultimately, they just weren't guarding the perimeter, and they were letting Bogdan go off. So definitely like to see the Lakers play better in terms of perimeter defense. I feel like that's where the Lakers have really struggled this season, along with their third quarters. Their third quarter tonight was horrendous just in terms of defense. You can see here that they give up 41 points in the third quarter. That's ridiculous. The Lakers scored 30 points themselves, but Detroit's not a great defensive team. You could see just in their standings, they're pretty much last in defensive rating. They're 29th. There's 30 teams in the NBA, so not great. Going back to the stat sheet, you can see that that they made 13 field goals out of 24 shots. They made 9 3-pointers in the third quarter. How much did they even make in the game? For the game, they made 11. No, they made 17 in the game. So 9 3-pointers came in the third quarter out of 17, which is terrible. They need to do a way better job in the third quarter of sustaining leads coming out of the half. Since the Lakers have had the best second quarter in the league by net rating, they're number 1. Which, looking at their second quarter tonight for the Lakers, they had 29-23. So ultimately a good quarter, but not great defensively. I mean, they only outscored them by 6 in the second. So kind of tough there. Looking at Patrick Beverley's play tonight, since Darvin Ham had some type of love affair with him. Let's see how Pat Bev did tonight. Played 24 minutes tonight. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. That's a big 5 points because it didn't even seem like he had 5 points. He made 1 3, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, 1 3, shot 1 for 4, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He was +5. I don't really get his Darvin Ham's rotations. I feel like first Austin Reeves should be starting in the game. Him along with probably Troy Brown. It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. It kind of reminds me of Alex Caruso back in 2019 where he should have been starting, but because of politics in the NBA and salaries and things that players agree with GMs and the teams on like starting positions and so forth. I'm sure that's what's going on in terms of why Pat Bev is in the starting lineup instead of Troy Brown Jr. or Austin Reeves. But it's kind of frustrating to see Pat Bev. I mean, his defense is okay, so I understand why Darvin Ham has him in there. But offensively, he's just horrendous this season, just not playing well. And I've kind of been breaking that down to every game so far on Pat Bev and his offensive efficiency, his 3-point percentage, which, I mean, he made a 3-pointer tonight, but rarely has he been making threes and been efficient. So kind of tough there to see. Looking forward to the next game that the Lakers play. The Lakers end up playing the Boston Celtics on Tuesday down at Crypto.com Arena. The Celtics are currently number 1 in the NBA in terms of wins and losses. The current record is 21-6. So it's gonna be a nice test to see how the Lakers play against their rivals, the Boston Celtics, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, probably the first or second best duo in the NBA. Either Anthony Davis, LeBron, or Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. It's up in the air for who's the best two players together. So gonna be interesting to see. Breaking down the Lakers road trip, going 3-3 in this road trip. Coming into the before the trip started, if you would have told me how would you take the Lakers going 500, 3-3 on this road trip, I'd say that's pretty good by the way that the Lakers were standing then. But since going 2-0 to start the road trip, they ended up beating Milwaukee. I thought they were on a really good direction. I thought it was a little disappointing with some injuries, and AD ended up getting the flu. So they ended up going on a 3-game road losing streak, and then they ended up losing to Philly last game, which that one still hurts, to be honest. That was a give me game. So I'm really interested to see how the Lakers end up playing. They're now currently 4 games under 500. So we'll end up seeing what happens with that. But now we currently have Darvin Ham speaking with the media following the Lakers win to the Detroit Pistons 124-117.
Hands of the people that we wanted it in, and guys made plays. Bron made plays. AD made plays for themselves, for other teammates, and we were able to close it out. So you're talking about a tough ball club to play at the tail end of a 6-game road trip. It's like they have a lot of great young pieces over there, and those guys play hard. So I said, in my presser at the beginning, before the game even started, like, you can throw the record out the window. Every time I watch this team, their competitiveness and their energy is through the roof. So, and they got hot. They caught fire in the third quarter specifically, and they got back into it and really pushed us. And I'm just happy we were able to dig in and get organized and get some stops, timely stops when we needed them, and pull it out.
It's the second straight game where Austin hits a big shot late in the moment, and I don't know if rewards you're having him in there or not, but does that build the kind of trust that it seems like you've already developed for him?
Absolutely. He's not afraid of the moment. He's going to make plays. He's a smart basketball player, scrappy. He's going to lay it all on the line, and those type of guys you need finishing games.
Big picture, looking at this road trip and the 3-3 record, what are your grades or takes or impressions of how your team performed?
I thought they performed great, man. I mean, it's tough being out this long. I think it's been 11 days. Starting out in Milwaukee, going to Washington, Cleveland, and Toronto, playing some tough teams. Let one get away from us in Philadelphia, and then to finish here is I mean, woo. And we start and finish in 2 places that are beloved to me. You know what I mean? Starting in Milwaukee, just the professional impact that place has had, and the family, my basketball family back there. And then finishing here where I'm from, and, my biological family. It's been a whirlwind, but I'm happy. I'm satisfied with our team. But, again, there's always going to be room for improvement. We did a lot of things well, a lot of things we need to get better at. But we're trending in the right direction, so I'm very pleased with that.
Darvin, 2 questions for you, if you don't mind. One, I think LeBron played the whole 4th.
He might have. I have to go back and look. I think he did.
How'd you feel about, the game got down to 1 point. How'd you feel about sort of the way he was organizing guys and especially at the end, needing a bucket, finding Austin for the corner 3?
Nah, I thought that's who he is. That's who he's been his entire career. Stepping up in the moments where his skill set is needed the most. He really came in with a focus to finish the trip the right way. Like, everybody felt terrible after, the Philly game, and just having to pick ourselves back up, refill our cups, and get right back to it tonight. And he was at leading the charge at the front of the crowd, like, not allowing us to lose this game or allow this game to get away from us in any way, shape, or form. So, again, just him being who he is.
That was Darvin Ham speaking with the media following the Lakers win 124-117 from Little Caesars Arena. Again, the Lakers finished this road trip going 3-3 at 500. The Lakers are currently 11-15, so it's going to be interesting to see the next game against the Celtics, how the Lakers end up performing. Here we could take a look at a preview for what to expect. Tatum is currently dropping 30 points per game right now. He's definitely in MVP conversation. He's also leading in rebounds for that team at 8.1. Marcus Smart is averaging 7.5 assists per game. Again, they're currently first in terms of the Eastern Conference standings. I believe they're actually first in the NBA right now in terms of wins and losses. I know the Bucks have the same amount of. They're the second best team in the NBA. If you look at their rankings across the board, they're ranked first offensively, 10th defensively. They have a net rating of first, and their assist per game is 8th. Looking at the Lakers, you can see they're 23rd in offense right now, 17th in defense. Their net rate is 21st, and they're averaging they're 14th in assists per game. So the Lakers have been playing better, so their averages also with their first 10 games or first 15 games comes into consideration that they weren't playing that well to start off. So with the Lakers being on a roll, playing well again, it's going to be interesting to see how that game ends up playing out. Again, I know that the Lakers always do come prepared to play against the Celtics since that is their main rival. So going to be interesting to see. Let's go ahead and check out the stats for the Celtics and what they're currently averaging based off the highest minutes. So Jason Tatum, like I talked about, him and Jaylen Brown, those are the two co-stars of this team. Marcus Smart is currently averaging 11.8. Whoops. Let me lower it here for you guys. 11.8 points per game. They have Al Horford still on that roster. He's averaging the fourth most minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see how Anthony Davis plays against Al Horford, another stockier big. I think Anthony Davis should have his way against him. So going to be exciting to see. Hopefully Anthony Davis continue with his dominant play. Who knows what we see from LeBron. LeBron's been kind of inconsistent this season, playing good games, then okay games, and then not shooting well. So with LeBron, who's taking way more threes this season than I think I've ever seen him take before. It's all gonna depend on how streaky he is and the rhythm that he has to start off the game. But I think the Lakers are starting to figure out a mold on how to get LeBron going to start out since he is an older player, and then have Anthony Davis trickle in, and then kind of throughout the game, AD's able to get his. But when the Lakers are playing against a good team, I feel like that then it's going to be important to make sure that the emphasis of the offense is going through Anthony Davis. And speaking of Anthony Davis, I've been liking what I've been seeing from him in terms of how he's playing off double teams, whether if it's turning and getting out of the double and scoring like he did tonight. I saw him go get out of a double, go baseline, get an and one layup. There was also another possession where I believe it was late in the third, where he was getting doubled, and then he ended up passing it out to LeBron, and LeBron ended up making a three. It was almost a turnover. It was almost a little too high, but those were reads that Anthony Davis kind of struggled with the last few seasons. So now he's at least an average player coming off the double when he wasn't really a good player coming off double teams before. So definitely love seeing that from Anthony Davis so far this season. Also taking a look at the team comparison in terms of stats for the Lakers and the Celtics. You could see that the Lakers are currently first in pace. Boston's currently 18th. So the Lakers like to get a bunch of possessions. They're a very up and down team with Russell Westbrook as your point guard. It's kind of expected. Field goal percentage. The Celtics are a really good shooting team. Like I mentioned, they're currently first in offense. So the Lakers definitely need to make sure that they do a good job guarding the perimeter. Like I just talked about, the Lakers always let someone go off in the perimeter. And Jason Tatum coming back to LA, he loves playing the Lakers. It's kind of like Lillard, when he ends up coming back to California, he always likes going off on the Lakers as well. So they need to make sure that they can try to contain Jason Tatum as well as they can. They're also first in three-point field goals at 16.4. They're number one in three-point field goal percentage at 39.7%. And as we know, the Lakers have struggled all season behind the three-point line. They're currently last again in the NBA at 31.8. They're first in free throw percentage at 83.9. The Lakers are currently sixth. The Lakers have them in terms of rebounding at 45.5 to Boston's 42.7. So Anthony Davis, hopefully he'll do a good job keeping keeping Al Horford off of the boards, and they need to make sure they do a good job of containing Marcus Smart in terms of rebounding as well, since I know that he's pretty active in terms of the defensive side of the ball and rebounding himself. Offensive rebounds, Lakers are currently in the middle of the league. I don't know how they don't focus on getting offensive rebounds. Again, their play style is they like to get back on defense. That's Darvin Ham's strategy. And assists, they're top 10 in the league. Assists, they're tied for first with the Lakers. So going to be interesting to see next game against the Celtics. But now we currently have Austin Reeves speaking with the media following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons.
Sure. I mean, you always want to win, but especially, after a game like that and to end, I think, a 6-game road trip. I think the last one, as we was talking about before the game, was always the hardest, so we had to stay locked in. So it was a good team win. I mean, looking here, our whole starting five was in the plus category, so that's really good.
Just to drill down, what was going through your mind on the last possession? Obviously, LeBron trying to make something happen in the pick and roll, nothing there, and are you just sort of screaming in your head, "Hey, I'm here in this corner. What's going on?"
Nah, I don't have to scream in my head or out loud or anything. Like, LeBron's been very criticized his whole career for making the right basketball play late in games instead of forcing a shot. So when you're playing with him that he's going to make the right basketball play, and that's what you want your leader to do, one of your best players to do. So when you're on the court in that situation that it could come to you, you just got to stay locked in and make a shot.
Darvin also talked about the rhythm of the guys who kind of carried the game home in the fourth quarter. How'd you feel you guys sort of composed yourselves and found some chemistry when it was a 1-point game at the start of the third?
Yeah, I think it's just like I've said many a times, so to give you all the same answer when this question's asked, is really about playing and getting reps with one another. Very new to each other. I don't know how many games we're in, 26 or whatever. So late game situations, early in the year, we're going to be a little shaky. I mean, just because, you haven't closed the game out with, probably 3 or 4 guys on the court that hadn't been here. I think it really just comes down to that, comes down to, knowing what we want to get into, knowing, what everybody likes to do in situations, and really just getting that, untalked chemistry together. And it feels good. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can grow on in the fourth and the whole game, but, as long as we get a win, it doesn't matter, what it looks like.
Absolutely.
That was Austin Reeves following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons, again with a final score of 124 to 117. Austin Reeves tonight had 9 points. Where's the stats? You can see right here. 9 points, was +3 in terms of plus and minus. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He's currently averaging 10.8 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists. So great production that we've seen out of Austin Reeves this season. Surprisingly, he didn't get to the free throw line tonight. He's been the most consistent player for the Lakers to get to the free throw line. Saying regarding getting the last shot from LeBron, saying Bron's been criticized his whole career for making the right basketball play late in games instead of forcing a shot. When you play with him, he's going to make the right basketball play. So always being ready down the stretch. Austin Reeves has been pretty reliable in terms of making clutch plays down the stretch, making smart reads. Really good pickup from the Lakers scouting report, or not scouting report, scouting team on picking up another great young player like Austin Reeves, which they've had a great track record of getting some solid players from the draft or even undrafted players, which Austin Reeves was. Like a lot of people on Twitter right now are comparing Austin Reeves to Alex Caruso on who's better between the two, and Austin Reeves is definitely making a case for himself on being a better player. Well, definitely out of his second season. Some people can arguably say that Alex Caruso was the Lakers' best player on the 2020 championship team. So, hands off to Austin Reeves, who's been playing well. And he also talked about some of the chemistry, playing with some new guys this season, which, I mean, a lot of teams have a new roster other than Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook, with Reeves on the roster as well, playing with two other guys, you said, or three other guys. I think that eventually I want to see Lonnie Walker end up closing some more games. And Austin Reeves is already in the closing lineup, which I've been liking to see. But if I don't know, I'm not a big fan of watching Pat Bev be in the game down the final stretches. I just feel like he's a liability offensively. I feel like it crunches the floor when Anthony Davis has a ball in the post. Whoever who's guarding Patrick Beverley can help on an AD. There's not really 3-point shooting. Austin Reeves has been a pretty solid 3-point shooter for the season so far. He's averaging 38.6%. So if you could have Lonnie Walker in, which let's see what Lonnie Walker is averaging right now. Lonnie Walker is currently averaging 39% behind the 3-point line. If you could have him in down the final stretches as well, I feel like you'll get some better opportunities for LeBron to have the ball in his hand in a drive and kick, or even to just spread the floor, and he'll be able to drive, maybe get lobs over to AD, play some pick and roll action, have AD going from the top of the key or from the free throw line below, and that can create some havoc, I feel like, for the Lakers. But with Patrick Beverley in the rotation, I feel like it's kind of hard for the Lakers to be able to get anything internally, and it's kind of making LeBron struggle down the stretch because he ends up holding the ball back and dribbling the ball out for 6 to 8 seconds and either shooting a three. He's not really driving and kicking like he usually does. So that's why a lot of people are saying that they're seeing a big decline in LeBron, is because he looks gassed at the end of the game. I mean, 38 years old in his 20th season. You're not supposed to expect LeBron to carry this team, but down the stretch, the ball is still in his hand. So with that being said, you got to do a better job of spacing the floor, and ultimately you got to talk about team construction or construction of this roster with Rob Pelinka. And you could say that, I mean, Darvin Ham, he's using what he has to work with, and ultimately the Lakers need to get some more wings. A possible trade candidate out there right now is Kyle Kuzma. He's kind of been trending in terms of players out there who the Lakers can get for Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, and some picks. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But speaking of Lonnie Walker, we currently have him speaking with the media following the Laker win.
Game went, that we didn't turn out with the win. I think every single player individually knew what we were trying to get, and we were trying to get that win. So there was no messing around. There's no lollygagging. We were pretty much serious.
You continue to be real efficient with your shots, even though you're not getting a lot at certain times. What's the challenge for you there, and how are you able to rise to it to be efficient like that?
No challenge at all. I know my capabilities, and I know who I'm playing with. And those shots, they're going to come easy. I mean, most of my shots that I've taken are pretty much open. So just playing the right way, playing smart, and just continuing to grow. As it continues to go my way, like I said, my jump shot's too beautiful to be missing too many shots. So just playing with confidence.
You have said that before. That's true. Defensively, how do you feel like that end of the floor was for you, not just tonight, but how's it been in that with kind of cementing that starting lineup spot?
It's been all right. I gotta pick it back up. I think I'm starting to lose a little bit of sight of that. I'm doing a little bit more offense on the offensive side. So just playing better defense, a lot more defensive rebounding. Rebounding is definitely a focal point of my game. So there's some things that I can improve on, and I'm just going to continue to improve on.
What have you seen from both LeBron and AD? Of course, over 30 today. But when you're out there and they're taking the defense, and yet you're still able to kind of find a way to get them the ball as well, what's your focus on that side?
Just being ready. We know what they're capable of. They're both future Hall of Famers. Their presence on the court is always going to be felt. So double team, triple team, the ball's still going to find a way to get to them. It's like a magnet, Great players continue to find ways to get the ball.
Last one for you. So get on the plane now. We'll probably get a day off, and then got Boston coming up on Tuesday. What do you do in that day to just recycle, maybe see some friends, family, whatever, and then just right back to playing?
No day off. Back in the gym, for me at least. Wake up tomorrow morning, get my shots up, get my recovery, get my lift in, get ready for the next game. But for the most part, you can't take no days off.
Appreciate it, Lonnie.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Lonnie Walker following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons, again with a final score of 124-117. Lonnie Walker tonight with 18 points off 30 minutes, 2 rebounds, 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 6 from the three-point line. Talking about his confidence, saying that his jump shot's too beautiful to not be shooting it. So love the confidence that we see from Lonnie Walker. Again, talking about my rant earlier, I would like to see him get some more playing time down the stretch instead of Pat Bev. So we'll see what ends up happening going forward. Lonnie Walker's a 6'5" guard who's been excelling in Darvin Ham's offense, having career highs across the board this season. Again, looking back at Lonnie Walker's stats, you could see he's currently averaging for the season 16 points per game, 2.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists. So in line with his career for assists, 0.4 blocks per game, 1 turnover. He's shooting 47.8% from the field, so pretty efficient there. 39% behind the three-point line, 86.5% from the free throw line. So efficient play that we've been seeing from Lonnie Walker so far this season. So hopefully we start seeing more of that for sure. It's going to be interesting to see if the Lakers are going to be able to retain Lonnie Walker. He took a chance on himself this season. He's making, I believe, like $5 million, this year. He's got the Lakers mid-level exception in the offseason. So very intrigued to see what ends up happening at the end of this offseason, if the Lakers are going to be able to retain him, which I can also say just by Rob Pelinka just not even adding another year to his deal. It's kind of tough to see. I think it could end up being another Malik Monk situation where Malik Monk ended up outplaying his contract, and then he ended up getting the bag out in Sacramento, which ultimately he deserves. But I have a feeling that scenario is going to come back into play with Lonnie Walker, who's been exceeding expectations this season. So we'll have to see. Also, just looking at this game, the Lakers turnovers this game, they had 12 turnovers. They're currently averaging, I believe, 14.8 for the season, so under their average. I like to see the Lakers, take care of the ball more. If they have anything over, I'd say 12 turnovers like they did today against a team like the Boston Celtics, they'll probably lose by double digits. So hopefully the Lakers take better care of the ball next game against Boston. They're going to be at home for a 3-game homestand, which let's go ahead and look at their upcoming schedule. You could see that there we go. You can see the Lakers have the Celtics coming up on Tuesday, which that's up in the air. I feel like that's most likely going to be a loss, but the Lakers come out to play against the Celtics, so hopefully we get a dub there. If they end up them playing the Nuggets, I feel like that's a very winnable game. Let's look at the Nuggets lately. They beat the Jazz yesterday. They beat the Blazers in a 1-point game, in a tough game there. They lost to the Mavs on Tuesday. They lost to the Pelicans, who's currently number 1 in the Western Conference right now. They lost to the Hawks. And then they beat the Rockets twice, which they're not a great team. They beat the Clippers by 10. So, decent team this year. They have Murray back, so definitely another winnable game for the Lakers there against the Nuggets at home. So there, I think they could be 2-0 or 1-1, and then they play the Wizards again, which that should be a win. The Lakers just played them the other day, and they won by 11. So definitely a home stretch where the Lakers could be over 500, going at least 2-1. We'll end up seeing what happens there. Then they end up going back on another 2-game road trip against the Phoenix Suns, which they played today against New Orleans. They've lost twice to them so far. And as a Laker fan, I love seeing what Zion did to the Suns at the end 2 games ago, where he made that final dunk, the 360 windmill. Just as a Laker fan, it was disrespectful, but man, the Suns are disrespectful to begin with. They do little nasty plays all the time. Chris Paul is dirty, so they got a little taste of their own medicine. So love to see that. So hopefully we end up getting a dub against Phoenix coming up. I know Devin Booker has been having some hamstring injuries, so we'll see if he's back by that game as well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Looking at other scores around the NBA today. Again, the Pelicans beat the Suns today, 129-124. You definitely have to put Zion in the MVP conversation right now. Just looking at his stats, he had 35 points tonight, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Bucks and Rockets are currently playing right now, 87-83 in a close game. The Sixers beat the Hornets tonight, 131-113. The Magic beat the Raptors tonight, 111-99. And then there's the Bulls playing the Hawks tonight, 122-121. But now we currently have LeBron speaking with the media following the Laker win to the Detroit Pistons.
Just looking back at the trip a little bit, started off so strong, had some things, guys out of the lineup, and then you end on a high note. How do you view this trip for your group?
I think it was a good trip for us. It was a good bonding trip for us to hit the road, 11-day, 12-day road trip, 6 games. And obviously we started off very high, and then injuries, illnesses, kind of got a rhythm off and had some guys sit out games. But for the majority of the trip, I thought we played good basketball. We ended on a high note, so that's always good.
LeBron, Darvin was saying that I guess you guys looked at some film this morning about the rhythm of the group that was closing that fourth quarter for you guys in Philly, and said he was giving some deference to you guys finding a rhythm in the closing quarter tonight. How'd you feel with the group out there, and how's it been kind of getting used to Darvin's style and building trust in some of those groups out there?
Well, I mean, trust is always key, no matter who's out on the floor. But having a closing lineup and knowing the guys are going to be on the floor when it's winning time, it builds a lot of chemistry, builds a lot of trust in that. So tonight was another one of those instances when we was able to build more trust and win a game, close game.
But for someone like Austin, who has knocked down some big shots, do you think it's more of him having trust in himself, you specifically, other teammates having trust in him, or is it both of it?
I don't know. I mean, that's an awesome question, but I trust him. I love what he brings to the table, both offensively and defensively. And his basketball IQ is very high, and he plays hard. He doesn't make many mistakes. And anytime he's on the floor with me, I trust him to make the play. Either if he has the ball in his hands or I have it, I want to, try to find him. And that's, what I was able to see at the end of the game. And, they left him open, and I was able to find him, and he was able to do what he do best and knocked it down.
LeBron, the basketball world has mobilized over the past 10 months to support Brittany Griner, to see her released and returning back home. Thoughts and feelings on that?
It's amazing. Especially around the holidays where she could be with her family.
get back and for us as brotherhood and sisterhood, we welcome her with open arms and love and support, and just happy to have her back home on U.S. soil. That's for sure.
Mike, do you have any more questions? Okay, one last question,
LeBron, you just said this is a success road trip. 1500 on the road. He didn't play. You guys both didn't play in Toronto, and he only played a couple minutes in Cleveland. Do you think this is a success 6-in road trip?
I thought we played great basketball at times. I thought we could have played better at times, but for the majority of the trip, I thought we played the way we want to play. And, happy way that we was able to come out tonight. And, the hardest game on a 6-game road trip is always the last one, because, you'd be looking forward to getting back to your own bed, getting back to your own rhythm, getting back to your own place. And, so for us to come on and play the way we played tonight was huge. We got to try to get as much rest as we can. Starting from now all the way to Tuesday night, because we're going to need it, because a very good team is coming into our building. But I like the way we ended the trip.
Thanks, LeBron.
That was LeBron following the Lakers' win to the Detroit Pistons, again with a final score of 124-117, snapping their 3-game losing streak and ending their 6-game road trip, going 3-3. Prior to what LeBron was saying, when I was going over the scores, Chicago and Atlanta were going at it down the stretch. So let me go ahead and show you guys the final play on that. With 0.5 seconds, Atlanta literally won at the buzzer. So big game from them, getting a win there. But yeah, that ends up doing it for me tonight. Hopefully we end up seeing the Lakers get a win against the Celtics. I'll be going live after that game, following that game down at crypto.com arena. That game will start, I believe, at 7 o'clock. So I'll be going live somewhere around 9:30. So make sure to tune in then. But that does it for me tonight, Laker fans. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and have a great